I'm rolling.
Lance versus Rick, 26.1.
All right. So I want to begin because I've been thinking.
Okay.
And last week, I was forced to sort of like say, well, if that's what you think, Rick, I don't know what to say. Last week, Rick told me that the unemployment figures were terrible for Trump this month. And I looked up on
Okay, rolling continuation.
All right, you're going to see the mic in the frame every once in a while because this is a tight 3-shot, and so just tough shit. You're all right.
All right, now wait a minute. So I looked up when you were gone since last week, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the unemployment is considered perfect. It's the best it's been in 20 years.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Well, you did. You said there was a problem with
there was a
policies because of the hurricane.
No, there was a net loss of jobs.
Yeah.
I didn't say the unemployment rate is at historic lows over the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's perfect. And it wasn't this good under Obama. And in fact,
well, it's been steadily declining.
No, it wasn't steadily declining. What happened was this. Obama's figures were declining until 2015, or 2015, 16. And then they sort of leveled off. They were going to 4.9, they were going to 4.7, they were going to 4.9, 5, I think they hit 5.1. But since then Trump took over, and they've gone straight down. They're now at 4.3, which is considered the best you can do, because any more than that, and it begins screwing up the economy.
Yeah,
Right, so that's number one.
But I didn't deny that.
All right, fine.
I mean, there are some parts of it that I could say, that we could argue about who's responsible, Trump or Obama or circumstances or whatever. But, okay, go on to your next thing.
All right, my next thing is this. I told you in one of our previous arguments that the defeat of ISIS was not because of Obama. It was because of Trump. And since the media is not going to cover it, I figure the Rick versus Lance show will cover that ISIS was defeated in Syria today, or this week.
Oh, well, they kicked most of them, or almost all of them, all but like 10 guys out of Raqqa,
yeah,
which is their
but you know why?
capital.
But you know why it was different from the Obama attack? There was two reasons. Number one, as I told you before, I didn't get real specific, but there were two things. The first is that before, under Obama, all attacks by the U.S. military had to be cleared through the White House. So if you thought you wanted to do something, you had to get through the White House to get it approved. That was the first thing Trump changed. And the second thing Trump...
One could argue that is a good policy considering how much Trump may not know about stuff.
Well, no, there has never been a war, a successful war in American history where the commander-in-chief had to consult, where the military commander had to consult with the president. It's insane, because when you're in the field, you have to be able to make a decision. So it was a deliberately crazy thing that the Obama administration was doing, but that's not all. This is even worse. Listen to this one. The Obama administration had a policy called the Rules of Engagement, where the Americans were not allowed to fire at ISIS unless they were fired upon.
I don't know about that.
That's true.
Okay, I mean...
Well, think about that. Imagine trying to conduct a war where you can't fire at the enemy. They used to watch them going back and forth and just caring about their business. And then they'd ask the Obama White House, can we shoot at these people? And he would say no. Not unless you're fired upon. So Trump changed that, and the American military said, really? You mean we can just do whatever we want here? And they crushed ISIS.
Okay, so the first two things you brought up,
yes,
both have like some nice mathy aspects. Like you're saying, levels of ISIS and levels of unemployment. Shitty under Obama, and then boom, they fall off the table under Trump.
Well, they went down around 5%.
All right, so you're saying Trump did everything. He brings everything down. My thing is war of attrition, steady rates of decline of territory and personnel for ISIS. Under Obama, who was fighting ISIS for nearly 3 years, it's only been 9 months under Trump. So a lot of the stuff that led to the defeat of ISIS happened in the 32 months that Obama was bombing them.
But they weren't losing. They weren't giving up.
But
they weren't defeated.
No,
Their territory was getting smaller, but their strongholds
and they were
were
getting
fine.
to be fewer and fewer of them.
No, they weren't. It's the defeat of ISIS came under Trump, and you're arguing, but you don't really have any proof. You're just guessing.
I've been looking at the maps for 3
Well,
years.
so the maps got smaller, but they had these
And the number of
strongholds.
personnel, where under Obama, the number of ISIS personnel in their purported caliphate dropped by about 50%. Now they've gone other places. They've moved into Niger and Central Africa and all over the places. They've been dispersed, but that stupid non-caliphate caliphate has gotten, it's not all Trump. It's a lot Obama. Anyway, point number 3.
All right, point number 3. I'm not going to argue because now this is just desperately grabbing at straws on your part. So
No,
I'm not
it's just
gonna argue.
math. It's just steady decline,
It
war of
wasn't
attrition.
steady decline, though, because they weren't allowed to attack the enemy unless fired upon. They could have held out for decades.
No.
All right, fine. So, point number 3. Since the media won't announce this, I'm going to announce it. Stephen Paddock, the Vegas shooter.
Okay.
When I first heard it, I thought this guy was part of a terrorist cell, and this is a Muslim thing. This is Muslim terrorism. It has all the hallmarks. Now, I didn't have any proof, and the media doesn't want us to believe that our Muslim brethren could do such a thing. Well, I found out today that Steve Paddock visited the Middle East several times before he did this.
Did he visit other places?
He visited other places.
I heard he liked to go on
He liked
cruises.
to travel. Yeah, but I'll tell you something. Cruises that lead you to Arab countries are not number one. In other words,
They're rare, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you can take cruises
To the
anywhere you-
Caribbean and
Yeah,
to-
why cruise? Most recently, he cruised to I think Oman and I don't know. All I know is that several Arab countries were visited recently by Paddock. And I'm going to say this: we may never know because the government may never release it, but I think it was Arab terrorism, Muslim terrorism. And furthermore, people are saying that ISIS was claiming credit, but they really didn't have anything to do with it. They were just claiming it to scare us. Well, it turns out that whenever they've claimed credit, they were telling the truth. In the past, they've never claimed credit when they didn't actually do it.
How do we know it's officially some ISIS person claiming it?
No, well, it was ISIS claimed credit the first day. I mean,
How do we know it's ISIS or not some jackass pretending to be ISIS?
well, because every single
I mean, I guess they have ways of knowing.
yeah,
We don't need
they
to.
have certain news outlets that they go to that in the Arab world or whoever that won't follow them and kill them, so that they can communicate. And apparently, they knew something about some details about the Vegas attack. And none of this has been released. I don't know why this would be kept a secret.
Well, you just sort of said you heard today. So time will tell or not tell as they either figure out connections or not.
Okay, that's all I had to say. Those are
On that point, though,
Yes.
the guy had 47 guns.
Yeah, and they say that he may have gotten those. He got those guns in Phoenix. And
Does that put a time scale on when he got them? How long had he been accumulating?
well, I don't know how long, but the point is that there's a very strong mosque in Phoenix that is radicalized. It was the same mosque that was responsible for a major terrorist incident.
Well, all right, you've put in dibs for Muslim terrorism.
I have. That's my, I'm going way out on a limb here and saying that the Stephen Paddock Vegas attack was Arab terrorism.
And I'm
Muslim
saying
terrorism.
the math doesn't favor it. If he's accumulating guns before he ever goes to Oman, and also, just, you know, if a guy wants to be killy, and then right at the end he embraces frickin' the biggest killers and the biggest monsters in the world right now,